require a holistic, whole-of-society approach in response. The Republic of Korea remains committed to supporting counterterrorism efforts in Africa, as emphasized in the joint declaration of the 2024 Korea-Africa Summit. I thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of the Republic of Korea for their statement. I give the floor to the representative of China.
President, I thank USG Voronkov and ASG Gurman for their briefings. I would like to take this opportunity to commend both of them, as well as UNCTO and the CTED of the Security Council for their work. At present, terrorism continues to pose a threat to international peace and security. The threat posed by the Islamic State, Al-Qaeda, and its affiliated terrorist organizations continues unabated, and the terrorist activities are intertwined with ethnic conflicts and regional disputes. Since the beginning of this year, there have been frequent terrorist attacks from Europe and Asia to Africa, resulting in massive casualties. As the new round of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict continues to escalate, its spillover effects are constantly emerging, leading to a surge in hate crimes and an increased risk of terrorist attacks in many countries. These developments are a source of deep concern and disturbance. In the face of this complex and grim landscape for counterterrorism, the international community must strengthen solidarity, intensify cooperation, and jointly tackle challenges. I would like to make 3 points. First, to build international consensus and form the greatest possible synergy. Cooperation is the only powerful weapon in the fight against terrorism. Counterterrorism shouldn't become a tool for major power rivalry, a bargaining chip in geopolitics, or a pretext for interfering in other countries' internal affairs. All countries should uphold the concept of common security, abandon ideological bias, eradicate double standards or selectivity in counterterrorism efforts, and effectively respect and protect the security of each and every country. We must adhere to the purposes and principles of the UN Charter as our founding principle, uphold and practice true multilateralism, effectively play the central coordinating role of the UN in international counterterrorism efforts, fully implement Council and GA resolutions on counterterrorism, as well as the UN Global Counterterrorism Strategy, and jointly combat all terrorist organizations and individuals listed by the Council. States should step up cooperation at the national, regional, and global levels, actively advance the collective counterterrorism mechanism, and intensify counterterrorism cooperation efforts in the areas of early warning, financing, travel restrictions, border control, and intelligence exchange. Meanwhile, states should also, through in-depth research, address the impact of emerging technologies on the international fight against terrorism, deepen policy dialogue and pragmatic cooperation, and jointly tackle new threats and challenges in the area of counterterrorism. Second, to prioritize counterterrorism efforts and optimize the allocation of resources. The SG's report highlights that there is an increased risk of a resurgence of the Islamic State in the Middle East, about which the international community should stay highly vigilant, especially in preventing Afghanistan from once again becoming a hub for terrorist organizations. Africa has long been at the forefront of international counterterrorism efforts, with the situation in West Africa and the Sahel region being particularly grave. The UN and the international community should, based on the counterterrorism needs of the countries concerned, further increase allocated resources to help strengthen the legislative, judicial, and law enforcement capabilities of the countries concerned, and enhance their comprehensive counterterrorism and de-radicalization capabilities. Third, to tackle both the symptoms and the root causes of terrorism. It has been proved many times that terrorism cannot be completely eliminated purely through military means. Only by upholding a systematic concept, focusing on the long term and on the root causes, and taking a multifaceted approach in the economic, political, social, cultural, and religious fields, can we eliminate its root causes and ultimately achieve victory in the fight against terrorism. One of the main reasons that people in the Sahel region join violent extremist organizations is poverty, unemployment, and the lack of alternative means of living, which is quite common in terrorist-prone regions of Africa and the world at large. While countering terrorism, regional countries should focus on eradicating poverty, improving education, employment, and economy, and should further explore a development path in line with their national conditions. The international community should increase development assistance, support and help the countries concerned to resolve their debt and financing problems and enhance their capabilities for sustainable socio-economic development. It is essential to promote a political settlement of regional conflicts and hotspot issues, improve the humanitarian situation in conflict areas, and prevent terrorist forces from taking advantage of the chaos. In this connection, I would like to make a special appeal to the international community to make concerted efforts to promote a ceasefire in Gaza as soon as possible, to ease tensions in the region as soon as possible, and to spare no effort in preventing further escalation of the conflict and confrontations, which could lead to even greater casualties and catastrophe. President, China has always attached great importance to and actively participated in international counterterrorism cooperation and has long been helping developing countries, African countries in particular, with counterterrorism capacity building through bilateral and multilateral means. Through the China UN Peace and Development Fund, we have supported UNCTO and the CTED of the Council in their cooperation projects in Nigeria, Mozambique, Somalia, and Djibouti, helping them tackle violent extremism and terrorism, and enhancing their law enforcement and counterterrorism capabilities. In the face of the new situation and new challenges, China will continue to work along with all parties to uphold a common, comprehensive, cooperative, and sustainable concept of security, with a view to making ongoing contributions to effectively addressing the threat of global terrorism and creating a world of lasting peace and universal security. Thank you, President.
I thank the representative of China.